Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel, Monica Jaga. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for support. I really appreciate. Today I have beautiful girls here, international students, as you have seen in the interviews. You're gonna have to get a chance to hear each and everyone's story on the interviews. So today we're gonna talk about general questions about how the challenges that the students get here in France. And thank you very much, guys, for coming. You all look beautiful.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, so today we're gonna start about the challenges that you get as a student, because I know in France they give you only 20 hours per week as a student to work. So how do you manage that? How do you manage your finances? How do you manage to work and go to school? I want us to tackle that questions together.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I would go first. So in terms of managing your money, I would say I would advise students to apply for social aid, like APL.
Okay.
That's money you get. How do you say this?
For your
Housing from the government.
Okay.
So it's an amount depending on your situation.
Okay.
So I would advise you to get that. It really goes a long way.
That's a good one, because most people, most students doesn't know about it. Because me, I didn't know about you can get an help from the government. So that's good idea that you know about the housing and how you can get aids about.
But you should also keep in mind that there are only certain places that are eligible for that.
Okay.
So you got to make sure you ask your owner.
Before
you decide. You should ask the landlord if it's eligible, because only few are eligible, so you got to make sure.
A studio flat.
Yeah, but the landlord should be registered, and there's something that goes on behind. So you got to make sure you ask your landlord.
Yeah, that's good.
One that I found very helpful was an application. It's called Too Good to Go. It's basically an application that partners up with restaurants. And they have, every restaurant or even supermarkets have leftover food.
Oh yeah, sure.
And so like you pay like what you normally pay for like a meal for 20 euros is being given to you for 3 euros, 4 euros, 5 euros.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You see?
So, yeah. So that one I found like you could be in school and like maybe you've not been able to shop and you didn't have enough money, but like maybe from pre has like these things that are maybe just about to expire or whatever, but like it's stuff that you could have bought for like 20 euros, but you get it for like 4 euros, 5 euros,
That's
6 euros.
good. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah. You guys, if you know you have any question, just leave a comment down below. And yeah, these guys have a lot to tell you. Yeah. So So what else do you do for all the challenges about the students?
Look out for other help as well.
Yeah.
Like during COVID, there was a lot of aid. So, like personally, with my friends, we got to apply to several aids. There was an aid for like what do we call the one for schools? For schools? Cruise. There was
Cruise.
Cruise thing I was talking about.
There's also cruise. They were giving some help, and then there was also for government. There was small associations as well.
So they give you food.
In Nantes, for example, they were giving out food every week. They give you shopping, a mask, and everything you need every week.
Yeah.
And then also when you apply for that help, I think it was like 200 euros. So you see, you're sort. So such things could be there. There are associations that give out student food.
That's good.
For free.
For free. Yeah, because as a student, I think money-wise, you have to manage your money. So and how do you do to get some jobs? Do you get some challenges when getting jobs because you're a student?
Usually there are jobs like usually in your school bulletin boards, like they put out like a speaking agency and these kind of tiny jobs where you can do part-time jobs while you are studying. So you just have to keep an eye out, and then even if you can't search for it yourself, you can go to your school administrative people, and you can ask them for help, because they're always ready to help and like find like easy jobs for kids.
Because I can see a lot of students working McDonald's because it's
but
more convenience.
It's convenient, but it doesn't pay that well, and it's more time consuming.
Sure. And how do you do when you get a job like that? You get maybe 20 hours per week, and how do you do to combine that with your studies? Do you have to work late, or you maybe work very early, or?
I would say maybe like okay, there's some part-time jobs like babysitting where it's in the evening, or dog sitting where you take somebody's dog out for a walk for like 2 hours, whatever. So it depends on like the student job that you're getting, what kind of attachment, like how many hours you need you to like give it to them, and what your school schedule looks like. So that's very personal decision. you have
Yeah,
to
how
make.
much you're willing to devote towards the
Yeah,
job. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sites like Le Bon Coin, those are places you should put your posts,
Okay.
look for work, whatever it is. And sometimes you can fall on jobs, like she said, and it really goes a long way. And something else I would advise, we usually have like 1 week break
Yeah.
for the winter, and
Yeah, sure.
those breaks, try to maximize those holidays as much as possible to make money, so that you're comfortable when school starts again,
Oh, yeah,
so
sure.
that you have time to even do your assignments, go to school comfortably. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very hard for international schools to combine your leisure, pleasure, because that 1 week for you to have a pause or you go somewhere else.
Exactly.
But if you combine it working so that you can have money, it's
Like,
Yeah.
they will never, like, you don't forget that you're an immigrant at the end of the day. You're not here for leisure. You think you're here for leisure, but you're not. Because when you find, when we were going for summer holidays, all my friends who were like not French were like, oh my god, we need to find like jobs. Summer is like 3 months of just sitting. And all the French kids were like, no, as we're going for holiday, I'll start applying in September.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, well, you realize you're not on the same level. The lanes are different.
International.
Yeah, so you really need to be on it. But
True.
I think finding a part-time job is not that difficult because they don't require like you to have a lot of qualifications.
Background
Because like
qualifications,
walking a dog, honestly, or like taking care of a baby for like 2 hours or something.
I mean, like getting paid to hang out with some cool kids, like why not?
yeah.
I do it for free. I've done it for free my whole life. Why not get paid for it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's
good.
not
Back
that
home,
hard.
yeah, you have to take care of siblings. So if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get some money.
Yeah.
Ah, that's good.
The
Yeah.
important one is, as she said, just know you are not here like the other students. You are not
Yeah.
French. You are
Yeah.
here. You are a foreigner. Act as
You
foreigners.
have some responsibilities.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I mean, you work hard now, and it's gonna pay off for sure. It's gonna pay off later. So
Oh yeah. So you sacrifice maybe your leisure time or vacation and all
Exactly.
this.
It's only for 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you still get the weekends to chill, so it's okay. You can.
But
make
also
up
some
for it.
weekends you can decide
You can
to
decide
like
to
to
work.
work through
I
weekends.
work Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, sure. Because you can't work from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but like a French person will be like, oh no, me I only work like 5 hours a week. But it's like, again,
Yeah.
this is their country. You're just an immigrant.
Yeah. So yeah. And do you think that other students, like European students here, get the same difficulties like Africans like us?
I wouldn't know. I haven't spoken.
No.
There are certain incidents I've heard from different schools and friends from different schools where people are partial to immigrants.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bring names out. But I would say like you just do what you love doing.
Yeah.
And just focus on your work and don't bother about what other
Don't
people
compare. I think
don't.
when
And
you
you can probably some people are unfair and they compare and like we can clearly see it, but don't let that like affect you. Just focus on what you're doing because you know what's best for you.
yeah,
Right?
sure.
Yeah.
Focus on what you're doing and let anybody talk about whatever they want.
Oh, yeah, sure,
because
'cause-
if you truly want want something, you will find a way to get it.
Yeah, sure. You have to be yourself. Yeah, don't compare yourself to others because you can start comparing even money wise. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
start comparing
Because you are different, and
Yeah, you're different.
that's the best part about you, and you have something
unique,
to bring
yeah.
to the world.
Yeah, sure.
And don't let anyone dull that.
That's good.
part
Yeah,
of
you guys hope that you're listening and you're taking your notes because you really need these points from these guys. Yeah, and
Yeah.
to enter to the student group. How is it? Do they contact you? I mean,
Oh,
I
wait.
think some people are out there, but they're not in the group, and maybe they need some help.
You can contact any of us. I'm going to leave you the
Yeah, you can contact us
address,
on Instagram.
Yeah.
email address of the association, and then we can add them to the group. Everyone
yeah.
is welcome.
Because I think that's helpful because most of the students doesn't have their parents or their uncles or something
Or family.
or family. So I think it's very good to have a contact from back home
Yeah.
and even to speak your language. Sometimes you really need to speak that language, you know.
I mean, that's also helpful to navigate the challenges we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
have a connection to your home. Like
Yeah.
us as Kenyans, if we find Kenyan friends, sometimes it eases out the stress of and the tension. And finding that community, I think, is also important as a foreigner.
Helps you
Yeah,
survive. Yeah, and also the fact that you asked a question about do French students, our counterparts, experience the same challenges? I would say no, we are not the same. Even in terms of having fellow Kenyan friends, for example, for us, it's important because they will guide you through the process of settling here, getting your papers, things like those, and how to do it. Because if my French friends, I would ask them, or my host family, they wouldn't know.
No.
Yeah.
So you should ask people who have been here already, who did the same thing, so that they can help you.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the help that you get from the embassy?
I really
It's
think,
helpful.
yeah, they've been trying, and mostly it's through the Umbrella Association.
Okay, yeah.
and I find that well done. The president
Yeah,
is really
our president,
proactive,
yeah,
so
sure.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
Because personally, I don't have an experience with the embassy, so I won't
Yeah.
talk about the embassy. But through the umbrella, as she said, through having the barbecues and all
Yeah.
that's where we come in contact, and I think it's an important.
Yeah, and how do you do for translating all your papers and all this? Do you go to your embassy or you have to choose something?
Well, you can do it from the embassy. Somebody did it. You did it.
Oh yeah,
Dan?
I did. Yeah, I translated my birth certificate from English to French. It was quite a quick process. I just went. I feel like don't feel intimidated because it's the embassy. Because embassy is your home away from home. And so if you have challenges, the embassy is very open. Like you just go there and you tell them what you need, and they will figure out how to help you. And if you don't go there, like email somebody from the embassy, they're always willing to help because that's their work to help us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
I've always had very positive interactions with the embassy, so don't be afraid because it's the embassy, but it is your embassy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It is your embassy. It is not the Kenya. It is our embassy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But also, this is not to say the fact that even though we're all talking about like we're a Kenyan community or whatever, also make French friends. It's important, and it's not. We're saying that their experiences are quite different from us, but also from them you learn things that maybe with the Kenyan community you didn't know. Because some of the things like during COVID when they were giving out free food, I didn't learn that from a Kenyan. It was a French person told me, oh, do you know like at, I don't know, in the 14th arrondissement, you just apply something and they're giving you free food like thrice a week. You know, things like that. Maybe a Kenyan wouldn't know. So I'm
Be
like,
outgoing.
yeah,
and
exactly. So
mingle
yeah,
and-
talk to people. Like your French friends will also put you on things in Paris or wherever in France you live that have nothing to do with like the community, because French people are not really people for advertising. If something is happening, you wouldn't know unless you know somebody.
Yeah,
It's within
yeah.
small groups of
Yeah,
circles and
and
small
for
circles.
them, if you ask, even in terms of information to grow yourself, there are people who are not selfish with information.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to
Why?
like,
They just love
You should
helping.
use them as a ladder. I'm sorry to say that. A ladder or a bridge, they are very helpful. Voila.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
also good for learning your language, you know.
Learning
Exactly,
language,
exactly.
and also
They always-
to experience this beautiful
culture.
culture, you know.
Yeah.
It's always good to have French friends.
and also learning like, because sometimes you're in a place and you don't understand why it is the way it is. Like French people are so willing to tell you about history.
Yeah.
For you to get a better understanding of maybe why the language is like that, why the food is like that, why they act the way they do. Because you, when you're as a Kenyan, you've learned history of Kenya and you understand why Kenya is the way it is. But you come here and you learn about like, they'll teach you about Europe in general. So when you talk to French people, you'll also learn about the culture and understand more why it is the way it is.
Yeah.
So please also make friends with French people.
Yeah, don't be stuck in your ways.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, sure. Because if you're stuck in only Kenyan or Indian or
You're not developed.
you're not developing and
Yeah.
you're not taking that whole advantage of
Yeah,
being
what's the
international,
use
yeah?
of being an international student
Yeah,
when you're
sure.
just stuck with
Yeah.
the same group?
Yeah, that's good. And do you think that's good to be employed or it's good to have your own boss, to be your own boss?
Or be your own boss.
Be your own boss.
Obviously.
and-
I mean, at least till you get there, so you can to make a little bit of capital. so that you can start your business. It's okay to be employed for like the first few.
Yeah, you get an experience and
Experience
you
and
learn
then-
from someone. Because if you are alone on your own boss, you have to learn from yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So you can
gotta-
have mentors.
Yeah, and have mentors.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. And each and every one of you have something to do with the entrepreneurship.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a teacher of English. So I give the cours au particulier, like
Yeah, that's
how do you
good.
say that? Individual courses
Yeah.
of English.
English.
Yeah. So
That's
that's what
good.
I do.
That's good because you take that because you have it from home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have an experience or something. It's just in you, and you get money for that.
Yeah.
And after that, maybe you can do it more large group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance to improve or increase your competences, like take the opportunity to get those diplomas.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they are formation for like a month, 2
Yeah.
weeks. Take them, do them.
Yeah, sure.
Get the certificates. They will help you a
In
lot.
future, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's good.
I'd say like a challenge also being a student is that when you come to France as a student, your first student visa is only valid for 1 year. And so like for the next year or the next 2-3 years that you need to be school, you need to renew that, and that sometimes can be a very overwhelming process, especially when you don't know French or whatever. So also when you're seeing your date for expiry of your visa is coming after that 1 year, please make sure you talk to people, you understand what the process is, because it's not as direct as just going and saying, oh, I'm renewing.
Oh, yeah,
There are a couple
sure.
of documents you need to have. Setting the date sometimes for the interview is very difficult to find a date
So you have to take yourself in advance.
yeah, so like 3 months before your visa expires, within your first year of the visa. Because if you have like, let's say you're coming to do a degree that's 3 years, when you're renewing it the second time or your first year, they'll renew it maybe for 2 years. Because you know your degree is going to take 3 years,
Yes.
so whatever. But please, like that process at the first time, it's not easy. It can be very overwhelming.
So you have to
to-
book appointment with the prefecture?
yeah,
or-
like prefecture at least, I think 3 months.
2 months before
Your
and
expiry.
3 months
Yeah.
advisable.
Yeah,
Advisable,
because
yeah.
the website does not.
Mention it.
Yeah, the website.
It says 8 weeks
Yeah.
to get your thing, but it takes more time than that.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
people
Yeah,
have
a lot of
got it
people-
after their
students-
visa has expired. Some people have got it.
And how do you do? How do they do when you expire? Your visa expired?
If it's too long, I think you can get a fine, and it's
Yeah.
not a small fine. I think
Ah,
it's a
so you
big
get a
fine.
fine, but you're not. You still get your.
Yeah, you
prolonged-
still get, yeah. As long as your visas
Applied.
are valid,
Ah.
while you're still staying here.
Yeah, because that's you can't be afraid when you say that maybe your
Yeah.
visa expired and
Yeah.
you have to renew it, and now you're afraid of not getting
stressful.
the appointment time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you can get an appointment for a date that's after
After
Yeah,
your
the
visa.
expiry date. It's allowed, provided you do it before your visa expires.
Ah,
Because
Yeah.
that's not a fault of your own. And sometimes because of problems at a prefecture, even like last year when they changed things, they went online for student visa. So there are so many problems before you went in for the biometrics, and many people were late.
Oh yeah.
So you can get a CPC for 3 months and then another one for 3 months.
That's very hard because I have to bring a lot of documents. with all
Yeah,
these
over and
things.
over again, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people are trying to renew. There's so many people, because I feel like France is one of the more friendlier immigrant countries compared to others where they don't really have time. So because they are much more lenient, I
Yeah.
would say there's a lot of people on those websites, and the websites are always overwhelmed. So even to get an appointment date can take you almost like
I
1
think
week of
people saying
always.
that you book at midnight or something.
Yeah,
like that.
midnight, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Because
Oh,
that's
when
when the
people are asleep.
are asleep. And even sometimes it might not work.
You
It
set
might
your
not
alarm.
open.
You set your alarm 2 o'clock.
You really have to
wake
like.
up.
Sometimes when I did my last one, I had 3 people on their phones. Fungweni, kila mtu ana refresh.
Oh, yeah.
Until my friend yake ikaweza, and then she got me a date through her phone.
That's good.
Yeah, like sometimes it's a,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
hard,
lot,
yeah. So it's a very challenge to be a student, yeah?
Yeah.
it's challenging somewhat, but I feel like enjoy the experience.
After the second renewal, you're
Yeah,
just
and after your first year, after you get used to the system, you're like, now this one,
Yeah.
okay, fine. But the
Yeah.
first 1 year can be very overwhelming because of like,
Yeah.
the difference in food, the difference
Yeah.
of language. and like it's really being away from home
Yeah, sure.
as well.
Homesick and
And it can be very overwhelming to yourself, but then as like after the first year, like okay, fine, I think I got this.
good.
Yeah.
You are lucky that you're staying by yourself, maybe in your apartment or your small apartment, or maybe you're staying with friends.
No, I personally, when I was coming to France, I knew I didn't want to live by myself. So I looked for something called a colocation, which is basically it's a house with roommates.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah.
I really like that. Like being by myself, I don't think I would have survived long. I would have probably gotten depressed or whatever. And I'm in a foreign country. And we talk to people.
Yeah.
We eat together. We talk together.
It's much easier.
So yeah, for me, I have the preference of living with other people, which is a very common thing in France.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
get
For
collocations very easily. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not even
And
just
more
students,
affordable.
even like
Even
grown-ups.
working-
I know
working
grown-ups.
people,
Oh, yeah.
Like they went and lived by
Collocation.
themselves. Then they're like, I don't like living by myself.
Yeah,
So they went
so-
and like lived in a collocation. People like people
It's
in their
much easier, it's
30s.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cheaper
It's
for
cheaper
your
and
life.
it's just nice for that interaction if you're like an open person. I mean, even
It's
sometimes
like
even
a family.
yeah, because even sometimes
Yeah,
when you're an
sure.
introvert, ukinyamaza sana pia hata unaweza kuwa mgonjwa.
Oh yeah, sure.
You
yeah.
know,
have
so
to-
even if
have
you're an
someone to
introvert, yeah,
talk to.
talk to somebody, you know.
Yeah, that's good. And how do you find it getting an apartment here in France?
Talk to us.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
That one
It's
I
kind
can
of
say
stressful.
it's
Yeah.
really, really stressful. Mostly in Paris,
Yeah.
to be specific.
Yeah.
Coming to Paris, that is one of the hardest.
Because they
challenges.
ask a lot of proof that you can pay the rent, or
I think that's among the issues, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is finding, first of all, the place,
Yeah.
and then now
the
provide the
certificate
proof.
is not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, like supply and demand.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
demand is high, the supply is low.
Yeah.
And then
And the
also,
prices are. Woo.
yeah, and the space is also small. And sometimes, honestly, I had experiences with some landlords that when they met me, they were like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's about how you look sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So they have a preference of non-black people.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes there's
That's like-
difference for families over single people.
Yeah.
So you might find actually, I think the people who suffer the most finding houses are like
Students.
students, but black men.
Oh
Not
yeah.
even black women, black men. You're like literally the last one they'll consider. So if
yes.
there's a family, there's some girls, Nini, you're the last year to consider.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes it has there's a lot of things are coming, but it's a lot of people want to live in Paris
Yeah.
and the supply is quite low.
And
But
then-
I will advise students to look at the students' housing, especially these are cruise and the other options that you have on the market. Just it's cheaper, even the démarche, like how to the paperwork, it's also easier compared to getting a private residence, you know. Yeah.
And also disclaimer, there is con men and
Oh
con
yeah,
women.
that's also
I
another
know,
thing.
there is
Yeah.
So
in
you might,
Robocop or something?
No,
Yeah,
everywhere.
Facebook, Le Bon Coin.
Everywhere. You want a house, they tell you, oh, I want you to pay only by cash and by this
Yes.
date.
And then in
Probably
there's nothing.
There's nothing.
or before even you go see the place, they're like, okay, you need to pay online for this, so that bring it. So when we are meeting, something like that.
There's a lot of scammers.
Oh, yeah.
It happened to me too, and I was supposed to move out like in 3 days, and he was like, yeah, I'm ready to. And how are you going to pay? I said online because I need proof. He said no, I prefer cash, and I said I'm sorry, I can't. And then he said, then I'm sorry, I can't give you the room.
Ah yeah. you
I'm
wanted
like,
to-
huh, I knew something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's some
very
strange,
hard, yeah.
strange,
And I
strange
actually went there and I met the family. I saw the house and I decided. So imagine the people who are just doing this online.
Online,
They
yes.
can get easily scammed. I met the family and I still got scammed.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
be careful.
Be careful about that.
Oh yeah, and also finding houses, some landlords require you to have a dossier. A dossier is just
Yeah.
like, it's almost like a
A file.
a file with
the
like
guarantee
many
and all of
documents,
things,
seeing
yeah.
why they should give you a house. Also, I find that it can be very overwhelming as well. Yeah, so also
Yeah,
it's
and
not
then
easy.
the mètre carré, what do you call them?
The square
square
meters.
meters are very small.
Yeah,
Oh,
they are.
yeah.
And
I would advise you to
I'm not
go a
used
bit
to this.
outside.
Yeah.
And for the price we pay here, I can live in a mansion back in India.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but it's like so
That's
tiny.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Even in
true.
Kenya.
Even in Kenya, like,
Yeah, it's
my rent could be like a very nice flat in like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Kile or like Kilimani. Yeah, for sure. A very nice swanky house.
That's why when we say that you you tell your friends back home when they ask you money, you say that you don't have money. They have to understand you. Yeah.
No money.
I don't think they would ever ask us because they know.
They do. For us, you always ask because the things that are in Europe, so you have to send money. And,
Well, in my case, they're like, should we send you more money because they know how?
Actually, they have to send money for students here because
It's really hard.
you don't have the light to work as you want, because most
you gotta
countries,
focus.
you can study at night and then during the day you're working.
Yeah.
And like that you're earning some money.
Yeah, here.
So, but here you have only 20 hours, so
And you have to study during the day. You're
There's
not
no night
in-
school.
Yeah, and you have to perform because
Oh,
if
yeah,
you fail,
sure.
I mean, you'll go back to your country.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And do you know that you can stay in someone's house
Yeah.
and then babysit the kids?
Ah,
sometimes?
logement contre service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Do you practice that, or do you know people practice that?
I
Yes.
know a friend, Emily.
Yeah.
Emily.
She does that.
She did it for like for the summer.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
our
can
friend-
do that.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
it helps you with, you can
Improve.
do another job outside,
Yeah.
get housing for free. Okay, not free, you're doing it for a service,
Yeah.
but it's usually not as heavy as
Yeah.
having a full-time job.
Oh,
And you also get paid as well.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you get paid. A
And
little
get
bit,
a
maybe a
bit.
little bit, but
A
you have
little,
to
yeah.
maybe sit maybe in the weekends or when they're going out or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
And
that's,
say
And you
6
get-
hours per week and you
I
have
saw
the
something
house.
similar, but like for an old woman, because
Oh, yeah.
she was working for like company and she
Yeah,
doesn't
sure.
have like kids.
You can
So
go
you go,
shopping for them.
so you go live with her and you take care of her, but no, you paid, but no, you get
the service.
you are getting free housing. So it was offering free housing. So your work is just to talk to her, cook for her a bit,
Give
take
her
care of her,
company,
give
yeah.
her company, but then you get to live in and be paid as
I
well.
think that's a very interesting thing to do because
Yeah.
maybe she will need you several hours a day.
yeah.
So that's good. That's
So
good.
good.
We are getting a lot of information from you guys, and this is very interesting. And I really like to have more of the students here. If anyone is watching us, any student in France is watching us, I think this is very interesting, and I did want to know your story. Yeah, so don't hesitate. You can come, and we are most welcome in this channel. And and as you can see, we are learning a lot, and we are sharing a lot of stories, and also we are learning how to get to know and to learn about things that you can get advantage of in France. So so come on the channel. Yeah. So what
Yeah.
else do you want us to add on the video today?
I would say if you start working in France, I find like as a country, because it's capitalistic but it's very socialist. By socialist meaning that they take care of the people. It's not very like money driven like America. Like if you're really poor, you're very very poor, and you're very like money, you can earn crazy amounts of money. So like even during COVID, which is a great example, was that people who are working like minimum, even not even a minimum wage job, just regular jobs, and you couldn't work your job because your job depended on you being outside, the government was paying your salary for the next couple of months. While in Kenya, people got fired, people couldn't
Kicked out.
so they really tried to really take care of people. And even when I think when the transportation strike happened and it was very disadvantageous for all of us, they ended up like, I don't know, they refunded people money on their Navigos because you have already paid for the month, but you can't go anywhere because so things like that. Like so, huku vitu zikikaa mbaya, like people, like the government tries to like refund you, tries to like accommodate you so that your lifestyle doesn't necessarily change. So when bad times hit, the country tries to take care of you. As opposed like in Kenya, when bad times hit, you're on your own.
Yeah, you're on own. Yeah.
And you can't really be helped. Even like the thing for crews giving you food, like that wouldn't happen. Yeah, so I like that they really try to like take care of people, and like no matter when the times get hard, they really find ways to really take care of you. So I appreciate that about this country.
It's good. Yeah, it's good because I also got advantage about that because the kids' school were closed, so I had to stay home with them. So I had to pay my salary, the full salary for the 2 months without going to work.
Yeah.
And I was taking care of the kids anyway. It was hectic because you had to do the homework and all this. And do you know here homework, the mathematics thing, it's not the same as back home, I always struggle with my daughter Emmy because she gave me her mathematics homework. When I tell her that this is the answer, but mommy, that's not the way they do it in school. So different. different. So yeah, I think when you're in France, is you have to be open up, you know.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing and be determined what you want, because otherwise you have to go back home, you know.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
soon as you finish your studies and all this.
Let me just add something from what you just said. It's something about being objective. I know so many people who've come here wanting to do their studies. They fail their first year. They repeat the first year. And during that time, they make contact with other people. They make friendships that do not benefit them. And they go astray and they end up paperless, lost, and they don't have any option to come out. So what I'm saying is try as much as possible to stick to what brought you here to the end.
Exactly.
And do not be led astray by small pleasures. It's really important because at the end of the day, you will end up 5 years later questioning what have I been
wasted your
doing.
time,
Yeah, and
So
you-
stick to that which brought you here, or if you feel that whatever it is you cannot do it, find another way before it's too late.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Don't waste time.
Yeah.
Be time management and all this.
Yeah.
And education and career is the only thing that can save you, you know, and that's the only thing you can depend on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure.
Yeah, it's the only reason they want you here. They can continue keeping you here. Because if you can't do that which you came to do, why would
you're
they?
here?
Let's give you the visa
Yeah.
to stay here.
Exactly.
I think it's as we say, just know that you're an immigrant here. This is not your home,
Oh, yeah?
and you cannot act as the people who this is their home. I
Yeah,
think when you
sure.
draw that line, it
Yeah,
helps you
exactly.
to see things clearly.
Yeah. Sure.
Sherehe mingi, fanya moderation.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, that's good. I really appreciated this discussion because it's rich, and I really like the way you guys and you have a lot of big dreams in your life. I wish you all the best in everything. And yeah, so let's motivate others to come to the channel. And yeah, so thank you guys. So if you have a question of anything about studying in France, make sure that you leave a comment down below. I'm gonna be happy to answer you there. Give us a like. Yeah, all of us here.
Comment.
Like, comment, subscribe,
Subscribe.
and